It's staggeringly
Did we talk about
bad.
Midnight Mass?
You watched it?
I've finished it. Yeah.
Okay. Did you like it as much as Kyle and I?
No.
No? Well, okay.
No.
Or as much as like all the great reviewers.
Go ahead, Kyle. Sell this Midnight Mass hunk of shit.
Oh, the hunk of shit! I really enjoyed it.
I mean,
Wait
I already
till
did.
my turn comes
I mean, I feel
along.
like I already did, but like basically, somehow this guy does Stephen King better than even Stephen King does. This is his best thing so far. He did that Haunted series and the Blythe Mansion series as well. The director, and this is like his baby. He wrote this, and I'm almost positive, and it's been what he's wanted to make for a long time. It's fascinating. It's incredibly well acted. The interpersonal relationships are amazing. The father-son stuff, the groupthink stuff, the religion stuff, the sort of the allegory that they have between with the cave people and how they would have like looked at fires and stars in the sky and misunderstood that, and how it's being mirrored by how the townspeople are taking the framework that they have, which is Catholicism, and completely misinterpreting a vampire type situation to fitting into that structure. The priest acting is incredible.
Yeah.
The lady, like the church lady who's like evil, she's great. The little girl's amazing. The old drunk guy's great. Their scene together made me cry. Just
the black
weeping.
girl, she has like a bunch of scenes where she's killing it.
Yeah, it's really good. I really like how each episode is named after a book of the Bible, and it sort of follows along with that theme for that episode. I liked how it ended. It had the balls to end on a pretty hardcore note, and I don't know. I like the whole premise. I had never seen vampires done like that before. It's a brand new way of doing like that classic. Definitely a 2 thumbs up from me. It was great.
Is a TV show with 7 episodes, each of them an hour long. 7 hours of people sitting and talking. They will sit and talk in a boat. They will sit and talk in folding chairs. They will sit and talk in a church. They will sit and talk outside, sit and talk in restaurants. You might be asking yourself, Woody, is there any standing and talking? Very little. You'd be surprised. There's hardly any standing and talking. It is really 7 hours of sitting and talking. Does shit happen? Sometimes 5-6 seconds per episode, you will see the interesting vampire shit, but mostly it's just sitting and talking. Sitting and talk. They form an AA group where there's all new opportunities to just sit and talk. They sit and talk in cars.
I love those.
Did I mention sitting and talking in boats? There's a lot of sitting and talking in rowboats in this show too. They just sit and talk for 7 hours. There's
a lot of sitting and talking, and those are the best parts of the movie. The sitting and talking is what makes it so good. The dialogue is incredible. It's a really interesting the way it's written. My favorite scene is when the main guy and his pregnant girlfriend are sitting on the couch.
You can put up spoilers, Zach.
And they have that whole discussion about what they think will happen when they die, and they had those two altering ideas of what happens when you die. And
I don't know how I left out sitting and talking on the couch, but that happens too. Kyle.
Yeah, like I really loved all those dialogue sequences. Like it's funny you mentioned like the AA thing with the main guy and the priest, because those are like 2 of the most interesting characters. And so when it was like them sitting down, like I'm already watching full attention, but when those little AA meetings come up, I'm like, all right, I got to really buckle in. They're gonna have some great back and forth dialogue that like builds. One of them's trying to uncover the secrets. Well, they're trying to uncover the secrets of each other using special language. And it's like I was that, the sitting and talking on the couch, the sitting and talking on the boat, the standing and talking. It was so much mystery, and you're trying to figure it out. I like the dialogue is what kept me coming back to the show. I'm glad that I
will say this, like we have spoiled a few things already when spoiler tags are up, but this show is really good if you go in blind and you don't know any of this stuff. I felt like I went in so blind. I watched the first 2 minutes of the RLM review, and they were so like in love with it that, especially Mike. He was just going off on it, and I was just like, all right, I don't want to watch any more of this. I'm just going to go watch this thing right now. And I watched 7 hours straight of it and loved it so much.
The only scenes I liked like actively more than like them sitting down like in the AA or on the boat or whatever was the sermons and like the priest giving his sermons. Like every time it was a church scene, it was like, okay, what's he going to say now? Every time he's inching a little closer to, kind of being not quite with Christ, so to speak. And so it was really interesting watching that progress and all the ways he has to like retcon the vampire that's clearly a vampire, but no, to him it's an angel. It's still an angel. You're gonna have to do horrible things, but it's an angel and he needs you to do it. And so watching his kind of mental fracture was great.
Yeah, I thought his first sermon was his best. That it was that's the one when I texted and I was like, this guy's gonna convert me over here. And then like 2 nights ago, I got Dirty to watch it too. So Dirty's been watching, and Dirty was like, dude, I watched that priest like preach, and like he's about to convert me. I'm going to go over. And I'm like, yeah, it's really fucking good. I was like, so far, it's like I don't know I don't know where this is headed.
I'd never watched a pastor or a priest with that much fervor and conviction and, just command of the English language that, it's like, oh, if this is what church was, I would have been there.
Yeah.
Like it would have been fun, not some old guy like doddering around saying the same thing he said 15 times before.
Oh, you know what it also reminds me of? And I've been avoiding this because of the spoilers, but Cocoon. It is Cocoon. Have you ever seen Cocoon?
I've never seen Cocoon.
Oh, you got to go watch Cocoon. So Cocoon is, and forgive me for the broad strokes, but I was a small child. This movie's from the 80s. But it's basically like there's like an alien egg or like a bunch of alien eggs, and this alien is keeping them like hidden in his swimming pool. He's like he's like under the guise of being a rich guy or something like that. And little does he know, the retirement home next door, they're sneaking over and they've been using his pool like the old people have. But being in the water amongst the alien eggs is rejuvenating them. Like their eyesight is improving, their sex life is getting better, their libido is getting better, like their arthritis is healing. And then all of a sudden, like Saturday night at the old folks' home, they're like doing the twist, and like all of their lives are like just enriched so much by this whole situation, and it's a real feel good kind of thing. And like I almost glossed over like every time we've spoken about this because I didn't want to spoil anything, but like when everybody is feeling that effect from the blood, when the guy's back works and he can dance with his wife, and when obviously when you see people being de-aged and stuff, but I really like the stuff where like people were able to like live their lives again, like little ailments were fixed. Obviously, when the little girl gets up and fucking walks. That's
a fun premise. I just wrote that down so I could watch it. That sounds really cool. On Midnight Mass, Woody, did you feel like the last kind of episode action sequence, is that what you felt like it was building towards? Like, did you enjoy that at all, or you felt like it was not enough action, too little, too late for your taste?
Maybe too little, too late is a good description. I will say that the very, very end of it, I don't want to ruin it. I was like, oh, that was brave. I like what they did there.
Yeah.
But and if you ever watch, I'm talking about the last few seconds of the show.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was just too little, too late.
You know what I found
if
interesting?
It's 7 hours, there really are like 6.5 hours of sitting and talking.
Yeah,
and the sermons were standing and talking.
It is very
to their credit,
dialogue heavy. Yeah.
I liked that. I don't know. I've watched so many movies lately that were kind of exhaustive action that like I was down for like let's sit and talk about this kind of movie. And it's a real mystery in the beginning that I was like working hard to like figure out as soon as I could. I like doing that with mysteries. And so that like really interested me and kept me hooked for a long time, just solving that mystery. And so like maybe in the second or third or fourth episode, when he starts in his confessional saying, God, I'm going to tell him a lie tomorrow. I'm going to tell him this, that, and the other. And you're like, oh shit, really? And then he has a little flashback and you start getting those flashbacks to Jerusalem. And I like that part a lot. And I remember thinking like how scary that would be I remember thinking how scary it would be if I got lost in Jerusalem, a man who has a cell phone and knows how to use it. But then I thought, what if you were 84 years old and you were having a mental break and you were lost in Jerusalem and you had spent your life on a tiny island in wherever the fuck United States?
Yeah, that
would be scary. And like the idea that he like got lost on the road to Damascus is so poetic. Like the whole thing, like I liked all of that stuff a lot. The flashbacks, I could watch a whole movie that was just like some like in Jerusalem, like dealing with whatever else was in that tomb.
That would
have been cool.
A little influenced, but I was super feverish, sweating in my bed, freezing in my bed. Like,
so you weren't in a great mood.
You're like, come on, get with it. But it could be. No, I think it was just it was a slow paced movie with a lot of talking. When I described it to people, yes, I think of it as a movie. Just it really is a 7-hour long movie. It's these limited series. They're usually 7-hour long movies.
I actually kind of agree. I know I'm the one that corrected you, but like, if it's deep and developing, and they just use 7 hours to tell a story that you couldn't tell in 2, like sometimes TV shows are more movie than movies nowadays.
And there's no second season coming. I
like that too. Well,
they wrap this shit up. They wrap it up.
I there's something to be said for someone who's like, this is my story. Well, no. It was a really great story. Let's do some commercialistic profit on. No, there's not going to be a season 2. This is the story, and that's it. And I like that.
Yeah, I do too. I get more excited to watch those limited series than anything, because I feel like it's like, okay, there's a guarantee that they're not going to get to the end of this and be like, well, we got to string it along. Like they have a planned end point when they start making it, which means it's probably going to end up being better.
Oh, that's always excellent. If they have a planned endpoint,
as opposed to Lost.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
or so many shows don't have plans.
I have my whole theory about Lost that involves the writer's strike, and maybe the original and maybe the original writers had a plan. But what's for damn sure is that the scab writers had no way of knowing what the plan was, if there ever was a plan. I saw a YouTube video the other day titled, "Was Lost even a good show?" And I was like, no, who thinks it is?
That's well understood. It's like a show people joke about for being so bad. It's like a pre-Game of Thrones.
Lost would hook me. I would just love what I saw and be so excited about the next episode. And then it would do it again. And then it would do it again until eventually you're like, wait a minute, none of this strings together properly. It's like watching a bunch of really great trailers.
Yeah. I never watched that show because it had ended by the time people were telling me to watch it, and they're like, "Oh, just watch the first 5 seasons." And it's like, well, but that's still going to leave me with no idea what's supposed to happen.
You could be a writer.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah, no, I have no interest in going back to that show ever. I'm out of shows right now. I don't have anything to watch.
Watch this plain one. I'm gonna finish it. I have to know how they get this much more.
I do that with bad audiobooks sometimes. Like, I am going to make it to the end of this book out of sheer will and discipline.
Your movie sounds like the Langoliers mixed with, I don't even fucking know what, like one of those stupid sun disaster movies. That sounds awful. I don't want any part of that. I want something. I want something that's long with lots of episodes. And is interesting, and I don't want anybody to give me any recommendations because y'all have bad taste.
You don't want anybody
like I'm not saying this because like whenever I say stuff like this, people start messaging me. I don't want you to message me. I'm lamenting that I have ran out of things, not that I want you to help. You can't.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just gotta look through those like bootleg streaming sites you have, like Paramount. Find something.
I was on there last night and I'm scrolling through like the thing, and it's like click, and I'm like seeing it. Don't want to see it. Seen it.